Ci siamo? Benvenuti o bentornati ragazzi sul mio canale, è un piacere essere nuovamente qui con voi. Come sono andate le vacanze? Spero tutto bene. Ora siamo tornati abbastanza in pianta stabile. Abbiamo ricominciato un po' a scrivere la programmazione e via dicendo, quindi siamo carichi per questo nuovo autunno. E in tutto ciò volevo fare un grande in bocca al lupo a chi ha ricominciato la scuola, di qualunque ordine e grado, a chi ha iniziato il percorso lavorativo, universitario. Un bacione, avete tutto il mio supporto. Allora, piccola info di servizio. Se vi va di vedere cosa faccio anche sugli altri canali, avete ve li ho lasciati qui in chat, ma li trovate anche sotto in tutte le informazioni. Il mio canale YouTube che è che basta ce la posso fare ragazzi, su, appena ricominciato, carichi. Allora, dicevo, mi potete trovare su YouTube cercando Nobara TV, oppure metto ricaricamenti di live, mini video dedicati e via dicendo. Oppure se volete vedere che cacchio faccio nella mia vita, di base pubblico un sacco di cavolate e qualcosa riguardante i videogame, ma soprattutto cavolate perché lo uso più come diario, c'è Instagram, mi potete trovare cercando nobara.tv su Instagram, sono sempre io. Vedrete la mia faccia anche nell'immagine di profilo. Poi siamo ancora, per quanto sta per finire, nel September, quindi se volete aiutarmi con una sub potete tranquillamente usare Prime, che è sempre gratuito, oppure utilizzare gli sconti del September, che però mi sa che non si applicano da cellulare. Comunque, ultima informazione di servizio, come potete vedere nella chat c'è un messaggio pinnato. E sì, io sto guardando l'altro schermo, ragazzi, scusatemi, dovrei guardare dritto davanti a me, ma sto guardando l'altro schermo, nel caso parta la chat. Comunque, dicevo che c'è un messaggio pinnato che è l'evento LARP, Live Action Roleplay, a cui partecipo come staff. Se volete le informazioni, cliccate sul link nel commento pinnato e avrete tutti i link dedicati. Adesso vi ho rotto le balle, cacchierò 9 minuti tra intro e via dicendo, vi ho rotto le balle, cosa andiamo a fare oggi? Cerchiamo di andare avanti, barra di finire l'Arc Conquest della 4.0 di Genshin Impact. Ora, sarai qua? Sarai qua. Ah, nella giornata di oggi non ci sarà la webcat, mi dispiace ragazzi, perché non ci sono gatti in questo piano di casa, quindi non ho attivato la webcat. Pure abbassare il volume in cuffia, mi dà un fastidio. Comunque, eravamo rimasti che dovevamo seguire il caro Laini. Esatto, avevamo appena incontrato l'Arcondidro che ci aveva accusato di boh, robe. Ah, sì, giusto, di avere con noi un oggetto volante, cioè Paimon. E adesso raggiungiamo Laini al suo spettacolo di magia, che tra l'altro, ragazzi, eccolo qua. Sono riuscita a prenderlo. Un 50 e 50 fortunatissimo, lo sto finendo di buildare, ma ce l'abbiamo. Abbiamo anche il gatto, abbiamo anche la sorella. Allora, io dovrei spostare l'obiettivo. Dove lo metto? Scusate un secondo, mi sa che lo metto qua, perché dai, delle icone qua non ce ne frega nulla, no? Non dovrei avere problemi con i sottotitoli, ma vabbè, posto. Allora, non vorrei far partire cutscene mentre sono in volo e far schiantare il povero Casuo. Non mi sembra carino. Sta su?
No way. I'm not guessing.
Sta su? Freminet! Ah,
This is our
c'ho
current
qualcosa
abode.
nell'occhio.
Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go? I have some new friends that I would like to introduce.
Oh, they all just went out a moment ago.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. I suppose that can't be helped.
Strano questo padre, tra virgolette. Vabbè, potrebbe voler dire tante cose, anche padre artistico, o, vabbè, padre adottivo di base o qualcosa del genere. Vedremo, vediamo che cosa succede.
Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine. He is a phenomenal diver.
Hello.
Dicevo, scusatemi, mi è partito il microfono, che Freminet è un sacco carino e sinceramente lo vorrei tra i miei 4 stelle, ma al momento non mi è uscito, ci ho provato molto poco, ma ci ho provato, al momento non mi è uscito, però vabbè, è un 4 stelle, finirà nel banner normale, va bene così.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. Oh, you sound very proud to have a diver as a brother, Linny.
Sembra che Laini abbia una famiglia numerosa, Lini, anzi.
Linny, could you come here for a moment?
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me?
Nessun problema, fate pure. Ma che faccetta che c'ha Freminet? Mio Dio, c'ho qualcosa nell'occhio, mi sta dando un fastidio non indifferente.
Okay, I see.
Hai capito
Is
cosa,
everything
Laini?
all right?
Lini, non Laini, Lini.
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little housework. Sorry for the interruption.
Non è che mi hai convinto così
Oh,
tanto, amore
before I
mio,
forget, the Traveler and I
Non mi hai
collected more
convinto proprio per
materials to make
niente.
magic pockets. Were you able to get any, Fremine?
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of materials. I was about to give them to you.
That's our Fremine, always quick with the underwater work. All right, I'll take
Che
these to the workshop.
vocina, Freminet, che vocina. A me l'unica cosa che non piace, io spero veramente in un'evoluzione del personaggio tra la settimana prossima e le prossime versioni di Genshin, una cosa che proprio non sopporto, non mi piace, è l'Archon. Veramente, veramente l'Archon. Tra l'altro ne stavamo parlando un po' con il mio compagno
Looks like rain.
e secondo lui questo è il primo Archon, visto che la giustizia comunque non ha una sola forma, ma di solito i poteri sono tre, che non ha che non è da solo, cioè c'è una divisione dei poteri dell'Arcon in questo caso. Io al momento non sono tanto d'accordo sulla cosa, ma vedremo poi come evolve la situazione. Ma io perché ho gli audio così sballati? Ok. Vabbè, poi speriamo che in fase di montaggio gli audio non facciano troppo schifo. Ok. Andiamo avanti.
You're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just a moment ago? Fontaine's weather sure is weird.
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the Opera House, but don't worry, it'll clear up soon enough.
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It's said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went, every time it weeps, the skies will cloud up and pour out rain. When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell toward the sky at the top of my lungs. Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!
Che quel drago di Idro sia un drago elementale di Fontaine oppure un altro drago elementale di Teyvat. Allora, io... La prima è più poetica, ci sta, ma un altro drago elementare di Teyvat.
Elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be very unusual. Let Paimon try something. Hydro dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romanticism. Or could at least play along.
Sorry, it might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. Perhaps it can't be comforted by the words of strangers.
Devo dire che io un'idea di chi è l'Hydro Dragon me la sono fatta,
Been for longer than I suspected.
però
Oh, it's
non
already getting
penso
late.
sia così. Cioè, quasi sicuramente non è così. Di solito ogni zona, quasi ogni zona di Teyvat ha, è vero, un drago elementale. Quasi. E stavo pensando a uno dei protagonisti dei prossimi banner, che è Noi Villette, e dà molto l'idea del drago in realtà, però non abbiamo ancora visto che io ricordi un drago elementale prendere forma umana. No, perché quello quello di Liue dovrebbe essere di Rot. Vabbè, lasciamo perdere, sono speculazioni. Noi Villette ci starebbe tantissimo come forma umana di un drago. Però, vabbè. Queste sono solo congetture e ipotesi. Ora, vediamo come va.
Was there something you needed to do, Lily?
Allora, dovevi fare qualcosa, Lini?
Yeah,
In realtà
some
sì.
preparations for the show at the Opera House. I need to find a way to... On the day of the performance, just ride the aquabus to the island of Aeneas. I'll have Lynette meet you at the fountain in front of the Opera House.
Ok, ci vediamo allo
Oh,
spettacolo.
Are you leaving now?
No, pisciolo fremine.
What is
Piccino.
it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Oh, I get it. You feel nervous delivering the materials for the magic pockets, is that
Piccolo
it?
cucciolino.
Perhaps we could trouble the traveler to help us take these materials to the Beaumont workshop and deliver them to the owner there?
Sì, sì,
I'm
te li
afraid
porto
that
io, vai
Fremine
tranquillo.
can be
Ci
quite
penso io.
introverted,
Sta a posto.
and the boss there tends to be pretty talkative. Fremine has always been a little afraid of her.
No trouble at all. Don't worry, we're on the case.
Sì, esatto.
Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm quite useless when it comes to such tasks. I'll think of a way to make it up to you.
Oh, no need.
No, no, no. Ti prego, Fremine, non farmi così per cortesia. Cioè, già sei puccio, poi se fai così mi innamoro. Ok, materiali per magiborse. Va bene. Materiali per magiborse. Allora. Mostra navigazione, perché me la levi? Quanto sei puccio? È vero che ci sarà sicuramente di meglio, ma io al momento non ce li ho. Però viaggiare per Teyvat con Ayaka e Kazuha è molto comodo, devo dire.
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made? Or perhaps you're just looking for a chat with me.
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are. They're for making... what were they called again?
Ah, these must be for magic pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made several orders worth now.
Dobbiamo pagare, ma che
They've
c'entra?
already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount. But they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run. It seems both their hearts and their pockets are made of gold.
Sì, infatti, dai.
Wow, So, is Linne actually loaded?
I can't say for
Simon,
sure,
la
but
serie
who
fatti i
knows?
cazzi tuoi e
There's
campi
good money to be made
100 anni.
being a magician in Fontaine.
Hey, is this machine what you use to make stuff here? It looks really advanced.
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology, and wasting is a kind of crime.
But where does a big machine like that get its power from?
Well, it's a little complicated. I'm not sure I can put it in layman's terms for you.
Che ci sono gli slime là
But
dentro?
basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy that's produced from trials.
Ah, allora io qui ci avrei una battuta da fare, nel senso che... Però non è molto carina, anzi, cioè nel senso, voglio dire, è che alle volte i processi sono talmente tanto lunghi che probabilmente viene alimentato dal giramento. Lasciamo stare, andiamo avanti, va bene così, giusto? No, cioè, a
How can
posto.
trials produce energy?
Beh, Paimon in teoria sì, producono energia,
I'm not
rote-
completely sure of all the
energia
details
rotante,
myself,
ma va bene.
but basically, when a trial is in session, the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to be used all around Fontaine.
Adesso ripetiamo velocemente quelle 4 parole fino a che non ci sbagliamo, dai.
So that's what its other function is? I've heard that the oratrice was created by the Archon to make judgments.
Vabbè, allora, spero dal precedente Archon, perché da questa spero di no.
Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power source for these machines?
Beh, Venti e Naida hanno detto,
Oh, yeah. So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief and turn it into power for all of Fontaine, right?
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, it sounds like it makes sense. Besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called pneumosia.
sì,
It isn't
fino a
produced
qua.
by the power of the Archon, but it is
È uno dei
unstable
primi
in nature,
tutorial che abbiamo
even
fatto,
around
tra
stuff.
l'altro.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking, I'm sure you wouldn't mind a few words with me.
Voi non mi piacete per niente, ma proprio per niente, per niente, per niente. Ma zero proprio, ragazzi.
You again! Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Conferry of Cabriere by next month? Why are you
Appunto,
hounding me now?
il pizzo.
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50% today. Wait, no, 70%.
Tu sei fuori con l'accuso.
You...
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the materials. Maybe now's a good time to leave?
Paimon, che brutta persona che sei. Cioè, noi ci impicciamo in qualsiasi cosa. Oh, ciao Child. Guarda chi ciccia fuori ogni... almeno una volta Archon Quest ciccia fuori Child.
If Confreri of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation here?
Ah, you're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next month. Why are you hounding me now?
Beh, hai fatto appena adesso la stessa cosa con la tipa, eh?
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too. What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Snezhnaya, non riuscirò mai a pronunciarlo correttamente questo nome. Oggi abbiamo incontrato un sacco di amici.
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now, and honestly, things have been pretty boring.
Allora, questa qui così, tutta grigia, eccetera, era la Delusion? Scusate, me la vado a cercare un attimo su Un attimo su... Google, ok, Google, si chiama Google. Allora, ok, ok. Non so se quella... Vabbè. Allora, la forma è quella della delusion perché è grigia e ha... Eh sì. Ok, mentre Shield ha anche la vision. Allora, questa con l'acqua è la vision. E poi c'è l'altra che è la delusion, ma la base è sempre grigia. Sì, va bene. Tolto il dubbio, spero.
But it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far, right, Trevor?
Penso che per ora abbiamo superato abbastanza tempeste, ma questo implica che ne stanno per arrivare
Hey,
altre.
you, Northland Bank boy. Aren't you forgetting something?
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there for a while?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs while you catch up with your friends? Listen to me, boy. If you want your Mora, fine. Why don't you come and take it?
No, 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 allora, Tron, no. Cioè, tutto quello... Esatto, la faccia di Paimon è la mia adesso, no, Tron, no. Non si può. Hai sbagliato sotto tutta la linea, non sei molto autoconservatore, amico mio.
Hey, I just said not to interrupt.
Esatto.
Oh, by the way, traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tooser ice fishing, Tooser said,
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys. Let's see who has to pay up
È
next!
stato un piacere. È stato un onore.
can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our clients. You're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
Sì, prego, sono tutti tuoi.
This won't take long.
Vai, io ti difenderò in tribunale, nessun problema. Ah. Beh, non potete fare così però, dai.
Shouldn't let your guard down.
Ok, allora, risolta anche questa.
Deal, Brad! How are you so strong if you're just a stabber from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank? Wait, don't tell me you're...
È un fatui?
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think?
Anzi, un
Just
fatus.
make sure you understand that you don't mess with Northland Bank. Got it? Huh?
Now's my chance!
Ah, rifai?
Huh. That was weird.
Va tutto bene, guarda la vision questa.
It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them. Maybe there's something wrong with my vision?
Strange. How could that happen? First time Paimon's ever heard of someone losing control of their vision.
Oddio, non proprio Paimon, perché comunque abbiamo visto cosa succedeva a Inazuma quando voleva non l'Archon, ma il puppet dell'Archon prendere le
Never
vision.
mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides, I always have my delusion in case I need it.
Sarà meglio che non la usi troppo spesso quella. E dai.
I don't see its work for Northland Bank.
Well, I guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
Huh? What kind of reason is that? Wait, since when do you feel down about anything?
I don't know. Maybe I still have a lot to learn about myself. But recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me. And I don't know why, but every now and then I feel like I'm in a
Che tra
terrible mood.
Vision e Illusion tu stia sviluppando problemi di personalità multiple. No, nel senso... così. Ah no, comunque oggi facciamo un po' di... Faremo almeno 10 pull anche se sul banner normale perché non ho abbastanza primo per farle sul banner. E tra l'altro non mi interessa neanche prendere qualcuno dei banner che ci sono adesso, quindi le scaraventiamo così. Tanto ne ho tipo 78 per il banner normale.
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, I fell into some unknown abyss. It was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named Skirk. She was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict when teaching me combat technique. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, it was because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that all my combat training would be useful in the future.
But what is it? What did you awaken?
She never explained that, but my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that abyss. In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive, I felt like I couldn't breathe.
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned a huge whale that seemed to leap at us. Is that the one?
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental powers. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind. I'll never forget it.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? Huh. So why don't you just go ask your master? Maybe she knows the answer.
Temo che la sua maestra non sia più in vita.
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never
Ok,
stopped searching for
non si
Master
sa, è
Skirk and
dispersa,
that unknown
perfetto.
abyss.
Però stiamo sempre là.
But it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Oh, it sounds like some kind of ghost story.
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. It seems that strange encounters in this world tend to be elusive like that. Oh, seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you. I just remembered I have somewhere else I need to be, so I should get going.
What? More work for the Northland Bank?
And no, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever I'm feeling bored.
Official champion duelists? You mean it's their job to duel?
Yep, in Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by requesting a duel with an official champion duelist. The champion duelists are all-powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the duel itself is a no-holds-barred fight, so engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But if they lose, they'll have no choice but to stand trial. And the worst-case scenario is that you're simply killed in the duel. Though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, From what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise...
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of its citizens. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I got to Fontaine. Apparently the one I'm meeting today, Clorinde, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she finally agreed to face me today.
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that name somewhere before. Clorinde. Huh.
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have this.
Ma un regalino per noi, Childe. Cosa?
Huh?
La Vision.
Vision? You're seriously just giving it away?
I'm just
Childe.
worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel. So, I think I'll be better off without it for now.
No, Childe.
Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve it when I have some time later.
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just wanted an excuse to come talk to us again, don't you?
Vabbè, ma io sono contenta, nel senso, è così
Whatever gave
carina.
you that idea? I'll be in touch later.
Va bene, te la conservo io.
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same as ever to Paimon.
Ok, ora così dovrebbe funzionare meglio. Spero. Spero fortissimo. Qua. Tutto a posto. Ok.
Well, since we don't have much to do for now, we might as well walk around and see the city before Lenny's performance.
Ora, sotto la guida di Paimon, significa che potremmo esserci anche persi 27 volte. Rovinare il mistero agli altri è da maleducati.
Paimon was just surprised, that's all. Paimon never saw that twist coming. The murder mystery novels here are amazing.
Non avrei mai pensato di vedere il giorno in cui a Paimon sarebbe piaciuto leggere. Quella era la pipa e la bombetta di Sherlock Holmes.
So exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is uncovered, especially in the one Paimon was just reading.
Hai già rivelato chi è l'assassino, Paimon.
Paimon will be more careful next time.
Esatto, cioè non si spoilerà. Non spoilerare. Non si spoilera assolutamente. E... vabbè.
Hey, shouldn't we be heading to the opera house to see Lenny's performance soon? It's almost time for the show to start, so we should get going. Lenny said that the opera house is on Aranea, so let's go ride the opera bus.
Aspetta, no, 900 non me li faccio, a posto. Teletrasportiamoci e tanti cari saluti. Ok. Allora, ragazzuoli, scusatemi mezzo secondo, datemi un minuto di pausa, per favore, che faccio un salto in bagno e torno immediatamente. Così poi proseguiamo con calma. Arrivo. Un minuto. Ok, eccomi qua di nuovo. Grazie mille per l'attesa. Siete un sacco carini. Scusate, ma... No, è che mi sono grattata la fronte, ma sono truccata. E poi ho visto sulle mani dei polverini neri. Ho detto, ma che per caso mi si è spellata la fronte o qualcosa del genere? Invece no. Va bene, sì, andiamo, che abbiamo molto da fare.
Whoa! Now this is fancy! The opera at Claire's. What a place to hold a performance! No wonder Linny and Lynette were looking forward to it. Huh. Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
È risaltato il microfono, perfetto. Dicevo che ho capito che cos'è, mi si stanno definitivamente sgretolando le cuffie. E quindi avrò tutta la faccia e i capelli coperti da polverina nera. Che bello.
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and healthy child. We pray.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful life.
Già le aspettative dei genitori sono quelle che so.
I
Aspetta, ci
guess
mettiamo
if
pure
they're
con le
our
richieste
kid, there's
dell'Arcon.
no doubt they'll turn out smart.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine. There sure are a lot of couples here.
Vache.
Oh no, oh no, di nuovo.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything.
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here. It's customary for newlyweds to come here and wish for children.
Dai, che è la voce dell'Arcon precedente, questa, la memoria dell'acqua.
Oh, Lynette, you scared Paimon.
Sicuro la memoria dell'acqua.
When he asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Sembra come se la voce fosse dell'acqua.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon, are you? Besides, it's the middle of the day. It's not the time for eerie things.
I see. I might be able to tell you something that could help explain the voice you heard. In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element. Others in my family have had similar experiences.
It's because of her sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would hearing a voice have to do with elemental power?
Ah, che gioia il controllo. Ma cosa c'entra il potere elementale col sentire le voci, sentire le voci? Che bello il controllo di bozza, meraviglioso.
When do you
Ah.
cry, Paimon?
Wait, what? What does that have to do with anything?
Just answer me. When do you cry?
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy. Oh, and also when Paimon's really, really scared.
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually gather here. So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So, what did the voice say? Huh. If you were hearing their emotions, then Paimon wonders what happened to them.
Rather than worrying about them, we should worry about my brother first. Don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance. So chatting...
Oh, right. That makes sense. Let's go in and see Linny.
Ah, Traveler and Paimon, good to see you. I knew you two would come. I can tell, judging by how early you've arrived. But you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take you to the best seats in the house. Wait just a moment, I'll fetch the tickets.
Le musiche di Fontaine, tutto il soundtrack di
The
Fontaine.
Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seats, and here are your tickets.
Sono bellissime, molto azzeccate, molto precise, ma in realtà il soundtrack in generale di Genshin mi piace molto come è fatto, perché caratterizza tantissimo il luogo in cui sei, ma per qualche motivo ora le musiche di Fontaine mi stanno prendendo più di quelle di Sumeru, che comunque erano perfette per l'ambientazione, e più di quelle di Mostad, che comunque sono le mie preferite. Quindi direi che a livello di soundtrack adesso abbiamo Fontaine, Mostad, Sumeru. Oh, Bala. Una gatta ha deciso di entrare in stanza solo per addormentarsi sulla poltrona dall'altra parte. Perfetto. La farei io la vita che fate voi.
Ooh, front row seats. Thanks, Linny.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a look at this?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my assistant, calling me. I'll go lend him a hand.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go ahead, Linny.
Ok. Raggiungi i posti a sedere che Lini ti ha prenotato. Perfetto. Mm. Non capisco perché ogni tanto lagga qualcosa, ma allora non è...
I only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often.
Mi sa che è un po' Twitch. Un po' Twitch, perché io qua sto a posto. Che bella. Che bella l'Opera House. Hanno fatto un bellissimo lavoro con questa regione, tranne per l'Arcon, ma per il resto hanno fatto un bellissimo lavoro.
Let's sit down.
Noi Villette? Sei tu?
Hey, traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since there's... you little... Of course you put this on Paimon.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt
Noi
awkward.
Villette.
I am terribly sorry.
Comunque pare un drago.
I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh,
Che voce profonda che gli hanno dato.
so you heard all of that, did ya? Boy, you sure have good ears. Paimon thought she was keeping her voice down.
Paimon, tu non parli mai a bassa voce, mai nella vita.
Paimon's sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you a friend of Linny's too?
No, magari è semplicemente uno che ha il palchetto prenotato da
Friend, you
sempre.
say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny then? This is getting more awkward by the second. Paimon nearly forgot to make her introduction. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Teyvat. And as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself. I am
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Linney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Ho un dubbio potente tra perché uno si chiama Messire e uno Monsieur, ma vabbè, non so se... Abbiamo Google ora. Differenza tra Messire e Monsieur. Grazie. Qual è la differenza? Ok, Messire... Messer sarà? È un titolo che rimarca una nobiltà più alta del semplice monsignore o del semplice signore. Ok, perfetto, è una questione di gradi nobiliari, insomma, cose del genere. Perfetto, non lo sapevo, adesso lo so. Sono contenta che non siano scelte a caso.
Wait, Nervillet? Could he be...
I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now. Clement had no idea you were such an important person.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every
E le
person
figure
has
di
their
me,
usual
di
reserved
Paimon.
seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to, there's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now.
Sì, è quella
I believe she
cretina
is trying to give you a
dell'Arcon.
most elegant and impressive first impression.
Esattamente quella cretina
So I think
dell'Arcon
you should
lì.
take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise she may become flustered.
Oh, santa miseria, no, io non ce la posso fare. Cioè, vi prego, destituite Furina, vi prego.
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seats.
Yay! The show is finally about to start! I can hardly wait! Paimon's never seen a real live magic show before! Oh! They're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Ma tipo, prenderla, legarla alla sedia e imbavagliarla? No, Paimon, ti prego,
Welcome, one and all, to
goditi
the
lo
opera
spettacolo in
epiclese. I
silenzio.
am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Ma sta cosa di dare via le vision, ragazzi, è pericolosa. Cioè, Inazuma ci ha fatto una dittatura sopra, eh. Occhio pure a chi le ha affidate. Lanciamo le vision così a caso alla gente.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry, she'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure she'll be stealing the spotlight soon enough. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes.
Cosa può andare storto in tutto
It's
questo?
actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Huh?
Carina, questa parte è carinissima. Per fortuna non è andato il solito cliché del corriamo sul palco che sta morendo. Però è veramente, veramente carina questa cutscene. Cuccioli.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Hana didn't see him do anything. Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
If we could see easily through his tricks, then to appreciate magic, we should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Hana couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared. Amazing!
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for everyone here. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough, but Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member. Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes and only 2 boxes. One is here and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow, how's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this
Stiamo a
random
vedere
number selector.
Paimon, anche perché penso che chiami noi, dai.
It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate.
Ci buttiamo sull'ovvio e sceglie
Now
noi?
then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations!
Che
You now have the
figata!
chance to
Non è ovvio per
experience magic
niente.
firsthand
Grazie,
for an
signore.
entire minute.
Meno male.
Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Meropide.
Oh, okay.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown? Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh, Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that.
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Let's practice together. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59, 58.
60, 59, 58!
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
54, 53, 52? Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is. Merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about me. Just enjoy.
Oh, all right. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable or something. 40, 39, 38!
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, midair right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't seem like anyone's worried about 25!
What's wrong, Mr. Linney?
I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds. Hear them counting?
19, 18, 17.
Oh, it seems things aren't quite going as planned. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10.
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7.
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5. 4. 3.
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0.
Ta-da!
E ti prego, dimmi che non è morta la tizia là dentro. No, 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 no. Aspetta, No.
Is this part of the show?
Direi di no.
Mr. Lenny, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now, right?
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl is still in that box, right?
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the God of
Fuori,
justice.
mettiti in un angolo e stai zitta, per cortesia.
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance, and there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
Sì, che tecnicamente avete preso molto alla larga e anche sbagliando target. Però, vabbè, questo ne parlavo all'inizio di Fontaine, di questa cosa. Esatto. Beh, ovvio, no?
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate us that badly? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Lenny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearance.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
Oh, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge.
That can't be right. How can Lenny do this? He was in the box on the stage the entire time. We could even hear his voice. Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances. He couldn't possibly mean catching himself.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linney and his associates?
Questa sta fuori. Questa è scema. Totalmente.
I just think that he... Well, I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
Cioè, ma lo capisci che dicendo la cosa sbagliata metti nei guai la persona sbagliata?
Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver
Sì,
justice.
tua.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina said it all.
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than the obvious truth before our eyes is the opponent I'll be facing. That's right. I mean you, traveler. You'll support Lenny, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time we met. Then there's no problem at all. You know, the traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met. But with Lenny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring possible outcome. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the true victor than here, on the grandest of stages, the Opera Epiclese.
It wasn't a draw. She obviously lost last time.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order.
Objection! Scusa.
Well, traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you...
Sì, Lady Farina mi ha preso di mira, ma io sono sempre quella che le ha detto: d'accordo, mi prendi di mira, vuoi duellare con me, scendi da quel palchetto e vieni a combattere. E lei si è rifiutata. Così, per dire. Dai, su, andiamo avanti. Sì.
Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Linney and his troupe are all potential suspects, and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot outlander can
Farina, il prossimo caso che metto in scena, giuro che è la tua destituzione. Per i capelli però, Ti faccio scendere dal palchetto in modi che tu non hai manco idea.
Sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
Of course. Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, Do you think I could possibly be the murderer? I understand. Even I'm not sure what happened, so I can only imagine how difficult it is for you
No,
to
ho
grasp the
sbagliato.
situation.
Volevo dirgli assolutamente no. No, ho sbagliato, scusa Lini. Scusa Lini.
I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But, if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left, I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in the box.
Scusatemi ragazzi, mi si era frizzato tutto, ma proprio tutto. Un minuto e arrivo perché qua c'è qualcosa che non va e vorrei evitare di dover riavviare tutto quanto. Ci siamo, risolto, fatto, è un
As
attimo.
for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Non si può negare. Allora, anche un mago abile ed esperto come me non potrebbe fare una cosa del genere in un solo minuto. Sì, è strano.
Precisely why we need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible.
E questa è una citazione a Sherlock Holmes. Se non mi sbaglio, giusto? Mi pare di sì. Cioè, un po' rivisitata, ma mi pare di sì.
We were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
Che carina, Linette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence.
Ci penso
And
io.
you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks for that.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Ah, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade
Sì,
secrets as
però
magicians.
se non hai un
If you
alibi
could
è
find the magic that
peggio.
has saving, Linny.
Se non hai un alibi è peggio.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial.
Già, esatto.
'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth it. We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic.
No, anche perché avete un'accusa leggermente poco simpatica addosso, quindi...
You can go investigate the stage and the seating areas.
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
Siamo Paimon, prima di tutto è di presentarti con quegli occhialetti da bambina a carnevale. Avvisa chi siamo, per cortesia.
The traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of a mess if I were you.
Eccolo, eccoci, ci siamo con il non voler lavorare e indagare per bene. Yay! Ci siamo. Anche se ci ha stupito piacevolmente tutta questa parte perché di cliché che io immaginavo fossero cliché e robe ovvie non ce ne sono stati. Quindi direi che speriamo che anche questo non sia un cliché.
The deceased is one of Linny's assistants named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping
Abbiamo
the
fatto un
crowd
po'
engaged.
larghino quell'omino morto lì comunque.
As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowell inside it.
Ma che ci faceva non doveva esserci. Esatto.
This is
Che
the
ci
real
faceva là
mystery.
dentro?
We've already searched the scene and we're unable to find any traces of the girl.
Ma tu, amico mio, non hai la supervista.
However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. Ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of his?
Sort of.
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but we've known each other.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his.
Vabbè,
I know
partiamo
there's no such
prevenuti,
thing as magic.
perfetto.
I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence.
No, non sono d'accordo. Talvolta le persone possono essere la prova più affidabile.
I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know
E
that
non
I'm warning
farlo.
you for your own
Non
good.
farlo. Perché io andrò dritta per la mia strada.
Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new.
Usa il dossier del caso per consultare le prove a disposizione. Perfetto. Allora, i fuochi d'artificio usati poco prima della fine dell'esibizione hanno incendiato la corda che reggeva la vasca d'acqua, causandone la caduta e provocando la morte di Conwell. Ciao ragazzuoli! Ciao Ramolok, tesoro mio! Come va? Come state? Grazie mille del raid. Che si dice di bello, ragazzi? A parte che io sto tentando di distruggere come sempre la scrivania. Ciao caro! Bravi, bravi, starfieldate. Lo sto facendo anch'io, ma in privato. E poi online porterò, penso, l'esplorazione dei sistemi solari, ma al momento mi sto godendo il mio angolino di Starfield in privato, in separata sede. Ne avevo bisogno. Avevo proprio bisogno di di un gioco Bethesda da godermi sul divano. Mentre qua invece stiamo provando a fare gli investigatori su Genshin Impact, che hanno deciso di mettere Phoenix Wright nella regione acqua. Esatto, esatto. Esattamente. No, vabbè, non mi paragonerei mai a Sherlock Holmes. Gli voglio troppo bene, ci tengo troppo alla figura di Sherlock Holmes. Però mi fa ridere che ci sono delle scene proprio alla Phoenix Wright qua dentro. Objection. Babbo. Allora, un bacio, buona fatturazione, grazie mille del raid e ci vediamo presto. Ciao ciao ciao. E è arrivato anche il corriere. Perfetto. Ah. Scusate la corsa alla sparizione, i saluti fatti male, mi dispiace un sacco, ma voi dovete sapere, madonna mia che capelli, che qui se non corri a rispondere ai corrieri, ma per la serie che devi proprio volare, scapigollarti, cioè non hai, come si dice, non hai tempo neanche di metterti le scarpe. Praticamente loro pigliano e vanno via e dicono che non sei in casa. Quando ti va bene, quando ti va male non passano proprio e dicono che comunque non sei in casa. Quindi scusate lo scapicollo, ma succede. Allora, stavamo dicendo, questo ho fatto, questo ho fatto, questo ho fatto. Ok, quindi. Mm. Posto. Ok. Riprendiamoci. Allora. Secondo quanto è emerso dalle indagini della Guard, i fuochi d'artificio usati poco prima della fine dell'esibizione hanno incendiato la corda che reggeva la vasca d'acqua, causandone la caduta e provocando la morte di Cowell. Lini sembra la persona più plausibile ad aver usato un oggetto di scena come arma del delitto, ma la domanda è: perché proprio Cowell? E perché la ragazza scelta tra il pubblico è scomparsa? Non volevo andare avanti, ma vabbè. L'identità della vittima. La vittima è Cowell, uno degli assistenti di Lini. Tutti i suoi colleghi lo ritenevano una persona molto affidabile. Il suo lavoro consisteva nel preparare e ispezionare gli oggetti di scena, fornire assistenza durante lo spettacolo e tenere viva l'attenzione del pubblico. Adesso riapriamo il libretto perché... Allora, usabilità percezione. Sì, ma un secondo solo. Io vorrei aprire il libretto. Vabbè, c'è il sondaggio da fare. E... Cosa ci dici, signorina membro della Guard?
Investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
Ci sia un problema nel settore dei numeri casuali.
See, told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Eccoci qua. Allora. Ah, va bene, l'ultima frase era semplicemente ci sono ancora tante domande senza risposta.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector? There's something wrong with it?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Lenny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? A lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken over.
Turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all.
Sceglie sempre lo stesso numero. È stata manomessa, va bene.
Make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seats for us too.
Let you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Ma noi ci proviamo comunque.
Even though it's bad for Linny's case, Paimon had better write it down.
Questo dispositivo è stato usato durante lo spettacolo di magia di Lini per selezionare un fortunato membro del pubblico. Tuttavia la Guard ha scoperto che il numero generato era sempre lo stesso. Ora... non so che dovrò andare poi a puntare. Intanto...
What are you investigating?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troupe members are currently considered prime suspects. The investigation team is still collecting evidence. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for... Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The magic troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the magic troupe at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections.
Questo è un seriale. Cioè, questa descrizione qua è un seriale. Certo, mi manca il modus operandi per definire che è un seriale, però intanto il tipo di vittima è sempre quello.
Okay then.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see them, it is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
La persona scomparsa è Halsey, una famosa pittrice venuta ad assistere allo spettacolo di magia per prendersi una pausa dal suo lavoro artistico. Non è nota per essere coinvolta in qualche disputa con nessuno della troupe degli spettacoli di Lini. Allora, spuntato. Avrò spuntato pure i tizi lassù, che per ora non compaiono. Sì. La cassa magica rotta è stata lasciata sulla scena dopo che la guardia ha completato l'indagine. A riguardarla la vasca d'acqua deve averla colpita molto forte e grazie al... Qui è dove la cassa magica è stata colpita. Se Cole non si fosse trovato al suo interno in quel momento, forse avrebbe potuto evitare che la vasca d'acqua gli cadesse sotto. Ma davvero? Ma no, ma scherziamo?
So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall. The rope looks pretty durable.
Esatto, i fuochi d'artificio
So quickly by fireworks.
non è che non bruciano, ma è stata manomessa. Dai, su, per cortesia. Esatto. E dimmi che è stata pure un po' segata. Ok, materiale diverso. Sembra infiammabile come il fulmicotone. Che avrebbe preso fuoco anche con i fuochi d'artificio. Questa fune è stata usata per far pendere la vasca. Si è rotta all'improvviso quando i fuochi d'artificio sono stati sparati sul palco. L'indagine ha mostrato che il punto di rottura della fune era fatto di materiale infiammabile. Ottimo, carino. Quella è l'altra cassa. Ok, lì li abbiamo finiti tutti. Sembra una comunissima cassa, ma Lini a quanto pare è riuscito a spostarcisi dentro nonostante un attimo prima fosse sul palco. Come ci sarà riuscito? Con delle botole, un sistema di botole. Di solito.
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too. If you find any new and interesting leads, be sure to share them with me, all right?
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first? The way I see it, it all started with that loud thud.
The thud? Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the countdown?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it.
Esatto, erano tutti troppo concentrati.
Lenny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind.
That makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Linny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank, or something like that. When the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
Wait, wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing.
La vasca non avrebbe dovuto dondolare almeno un po' in quel caso. Sì. Dai, su.
Suppose I must reconsider.
Dai, su, possiamo farcela. Puoi pensare anche a qualcosa di un po' più sensato, dai.
That does remind Paimon, though. What was with that sound?
Secondo me è che una botola si è chiusa.
Lenny's still talking to the guards. It seems he'll have a lot of explaining to do. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but that's alright.
Ah, allora, l'ultimo indizio, l'ultimo indizio. Dov'è? Sotto? Ah no, mi posso spostare.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Dio, Men in Black. Ci mancava Men in Black.
You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
Well, you're right on the moor about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president.
Quanto sono naif con queste presentazioni.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rasula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand. That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter
Perfetto.
judging from the look of things.
Quindi tu non sarai
An
prevenuta.
unlikely mastermind.
No, non sei prevenuta. Cosa che, voglio dire, non ci dispiace.
Really? We think so too. That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever.
Ma punta il dito contro qualunque persona senza alcuna prova decisiva, sta tipa, quindi nel senso...
The justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
E fa anche bene, fa assolutamente bene a non fidarsi.
What's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her. All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute, did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Well?
And why would that be?
Perché qualcosa di serio come un processo non dovrebbe essere trattato come una forma di intrattenimento.
See, Silver and Malus? I told you.
E su.
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I too think that the traveler's response was
Quanto è carino Melus. Quanto è
No
puccio.
matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, and if that can be done, Bob.
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, I like your answer. You pass with flying colors. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants.
Ci sto.
Since when did we become assistants?
Ci sto fortissimo, dai.
Oh, well, I can be the assistant, sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
That's more like it.
Penso che tu non stia ferendo il punto, Paimon, ma come sempre.
I believe that
Quando mai?
intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
You have a point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister? And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
have nothing to add.
Oh, we'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Lenny's tricks. Thanks!
Non mi dispiaci. Lei non mi dispiace.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with...
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Lenny and Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity then.
How can you be so sure,
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Lenny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave. We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. This will be useful info. We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Lenny's discussion with the guards is going.
Aiuto, aiuto, perché cavolo ci sono tutti questi problemi di microfono oggi? Cioè, stavo dicendo che comunque è un teatro e un tribunale. Ti pare che un teatro usato da un mago non ha una botola? A meno che il tipo con la tizia non si è catafottuto fuori da una finestra, ma mi pare esagerato. Ti prego, non fare poi più così, ti prego. Difficilissimo.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and we'll be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes,
Sì.
a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything,
Comunque è conoscenza comune questa.
Anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic
Esattamente.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Cosa è successo durante il numero?
Talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end.
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Lenny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who.
Beh, ragazzi, però tra orecchie e altezza, nel
That's my
senso...
favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow! Every detail you revealed was more amazing than...
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would.
E la telefonata con il capo l'abbiamo anche fatta, scusate, dovevo prenderla assolutamente. Niente, sta prima live è così, sta prima live è esattamente alla come viene.
But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit... Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Lenny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Lini ha fornito un resoconto dettagliato di come funziona il numero, usando una cassa nella cassa. L'idea era quella di trasportare la cassa contenente il membro del pubblico attraverso un tunnel sottostante che lo stesso Lini avrebbe usato per arrivare dall'altra parte. Nel frattempo, dopo essersi cambiata d'abito, Lynette e il suo assistente si sarebbero presi cura di interagire con il pubblico. La cassa magica sul palco ha uno strato aggiuntivo sul retro, nel quale Lynette, con addosso gli abiti di Lini, è rimasta nascosta. Alla fine del trucco di magia, Lynette sarebbe dovuta apparire per far credere che Lini si fosse spostato istantaneamente nella cassa dall'altra parte. La cassa magica al centro del pubblico ha 2 strati e sotto di essa vi è l'ingresso a un tunnel sotterraneo, è così che la persona fortunata tra il pubblico avrebbe dovuto essere trasportata senza che nessuno lo notasse. Io ho una mezza idea, e cioè che uno degli assistenti di Lini è il colpevole, perché non è uno degli assistenti di Lini, ma un impostore. Ok, questo qui sembra che funzioni. Serve una scala per tornare alla cassa di sopra. Ok. Il rampino.
What's this? Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of
Esatto, Lini non ne ha parlato, quindi potrebbe non essere
It
Lini.
was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
Esatto, una fune che è caduta a terra, un gancio metallico è stato legato a una delle estremità, il suo uso non è chiaro.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
No, non serve per un numero.
It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to
Sì, certo, esistono, ma non mi sembra proprio il caso comunque.
Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
Vaso da fiori rotto. Ci sono molti cocci di un vaso da fiori rotto in corrispondenza a un'estremità del tunnel. Tutta l'acqua che era all'interno è fuoriuscita. A giudicare dalla distanza sembra improbabile che sia stato fatto cadere dal carrello che doveva trasportare la cassa magica. E ne abbiamo altri 2, giusto? Sì.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Lini non ha detto nulla a proposito di un cambio d'abiti perché non c'era nessun cambio d'abiti.
Do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them? Ugh, this is so confusing. Hannah doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Gli abiti appartenenti ad Elsie, la ragazza scomparsa, sono stati trovati nel tunnel. La ragione rimane ignota. È necessaria una grande precisione per completare questo spettacolo di magia, e i binari sono perfetti per far sì che il carrello rimanga sulla traiettoria prestabilita. All'interno sono stipati oggetti e costumi di scena gettati a caso. Il carrello è cruciale per trasportare la cassa magica dall'altra parte. Il colpevole deve averlo usato per attuare il suo piano.
What is this place?
Sembra un
It seems someone
condotto.
could fit through here.
Oh, ma guarda.
Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space...
But there are no other ways in or out of here.
A parte quelle che passano per le casse magiche e quelle che erano occupate da Lainey e Lynette. Sembra che il condotto di reazione del passaggio sia largo a malapena da permettere il transito a una sola persona. Andarsene assieme alla donna scomparsa è un'ipotesi irrealistica. Non lo so se è irrealistica.
Since we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes, let's head back up.
E se l'avesse messa in una cassa e avesse fatto passare la cassa e poi fosse passato lui?
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Non lo permetterò mai.
Trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
Non lo permetterò mai a cioè, che Linny e Lynette finiscano così.
During the proceedings, the Chief
Sono
Justice
contro la mala
will
giustizia.
take statements from both sides. That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? I thought Novelette called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment. Which is why people have great... Yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial. Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
Vero?
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Lui così, a caso, perfetto. Amico mio, no. Non fa cacchiate, non fa robe.
Of course. I
I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all
Paimon, ti prego,
Let's just
smettila.
sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all. Just kidding, just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
Hmm? What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh? Here? But how?
Non mi dispiace lei come personaggio. Cioè, è meno fastidiosa di Furina. Decisamente meno fastidiosa di Furina.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
Peccato non mi piacciono le mandorle, usate nei dolci, le preferisco così fresche. I macaron, è vero, zucchero, mandorle, cioè sono macaron. Però devo capire la prospettiva perché sembrano tipo dei macaron così, ma credo che anche le tazze di tè sono tipo la tazza da latte, quella da mezzo litro. È effettivamente così, perfetto.
I was applauding.
Silver, tu sei il mio spirito guida ufficiale. Non è esattamente ciò che voleva dire Paimon, ma pazienza, a posto.
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try, fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Paimon.
Eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit. No need for concern, I'm merely doing as I should.
All right then, down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel.
Perché Elsie si è ribellata.
The shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
Che non c'è una prova di una terza persona.
None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowell.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
Non avrebbe potuto sapere come funzionava il trucco, ma secondo me qua stiamo volando, non stiamo ragionando.
Tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet!
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest!
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
Ma povero Melus.
No, being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
Oh, va bene così. Se li hai mangiati, li hai mangiati.
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Luce, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh? What are you
making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course?
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right, thanks for your help and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go.
Che dolore al collo, raga.
I'll be back if I find anything new.
Credo di dover cambiare i cuscini perché, cioè, davvero, troppo bassi. Né Cowell né Halsey avevano un movente, ma dopo aver parlato con Lavia, anche le probabilità di sia una terza persona coinvolta sembrano basse.
It's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense.
Vabbè,
I'm sure I forgot.
cominciamo.
Not to worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch it. As soon as I remember what it was.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well,
best of luck to you.
Allora, questi 3, teatro, tunnel, e li abbiamo letti. Condotto a reazione tunnel. Ok. Non so, forse li abbiamo missati noi o forse devono ancora arrivare.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed. Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence.
No, sono abbastanza convinta, Furina, che invece
But don't let that
ci
stop
siano molti colpevoli che sono stati in grado di provare la loro
you.
innocenza.
My most anticipated foe concede so easily.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Grande Lini.
Is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course.
Grande Lini.
The time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course,
Furina, madonna.
I have armed myself
Non
with
ce la posso
laws
fare.
to smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatsui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
Ma non è vero? Cioè, non è tutto
Feeling that what
chiaro.
happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Lenny! Why didn't you tell us this before?
Ma non è importante.
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to reestablish...
Cioè, non è quella la cosa importante. L'importante è semplicemente... Oddio, come si dice? Cioè, l'importante è arrivare alla chiarezza del punto. Non importa che loro siano dei fatui. E se sono innocenti, punto.
You were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true? Please answer my question.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as...
Non lo sono! Non lo sono!
Their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now?
Certo.
You certainly have more
Se
professionalism
quello è il
than
tuo
I
lavoro, se scegli di difendere un imputato, lo porti avanti se sei professionale.
In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Furina, ti spingo di sotto. Da dietro, così. Poi impari a volare.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up.
E non
I'm
importa.
sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon just knew where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys.
E Paimon lì è sbagliato, ma quell'altro discorso.
But Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Batui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset.
A parte che loro hanno due vision e non hanno le delusion, spero, mi auguro.
But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
Come facciamo a sapere che anche questa non sia una bugia?
So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Allora, in questo caso sono sicura che tu non sia un criminale, però poi vorrei indagare anche il resto. Così, per curiosità.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But, like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Cioè, mi dispiace, io vorrei fidarmi direttamente, però capisco benissimo che forse è il caso di andare a controllare.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously huh? Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
Possiamo farcela.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
Ugh, that took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Analizzando le affermazioni della controparte, puoi cercare le contraddizioni presenti nella loro versione dei fatti. Usa le prove e gli indizi raccolti durante le indagini per confutare le asserzioni errate sui fatti e sostituiscile con delle nuove deduzioni. Usa le tue confutazioni per Objection!
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel.
E fino a qua.
That trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the boss to knock her out before making her change clothes.
Grafica spettacolare, mi piacciono tantissimo questi. Io ci sono in realtà in mezzo. Ci sono in mezzo, maledetta me. Un attimo solo, che non so mai dove cacchiarola mette sta roba. Ogni volta, no? Torna indietro. Ok. Volta interna all'8. Perfetto. Queste grafiche qua. Queste sono meravigliose. Stupende.
Having heard that strange noise and caught Linny red-handed.
Non è vero?
So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Lenny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box.
Da confutare sono queste tre, praticamente. Perché è vero che Lini è entrato nel tunnel, è vero che c'è stato un incidente, ma queste tre no, sono false. Che belle. Che bella grafica.
Does the defendant side have any objections to Lady Farina?
Key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Lenny experienced and what he saw.
Allora, io userei questo.
According to Lenny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Poi questa va confutata. E userei questa. Lini afferma di aver sentito una voce misteriosa.
Lenny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Cowell si è imbattuto in Lini che l'ha tramortito. No, le prove esistenti indicano che quando Lini è tornato dal tunnel l'incidente si era già verificato e tutto ciò che aveva visto Lini era... gli abiti.
Lenny did not take part in the underground altercation.
Ok.
He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say. When the countdown started, Lenny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty... The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. And in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
E fino a qua, ok.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
Sì.
My reasoning?
Eh sì, nel tuo ragionamento. L'attrezzatura di scena è stata chiaramente manomessa in modo premeditato, tuttavia Madame Furina ha detto che Cromwell si è imbattuto in linea per puro caso. Proviamo la seconda.
Oh, they have a point.
Tipo.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around. Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Non è che per caso ricordi come hai confutato l'alibi di Lini all'inizio?
If he had been in the whole time. How could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Che le tue affermazioni sono ora diventate la mia arma. Ok, perfetto, le prove ragionevoli. Qua ce ne manca sempre uno, siamo fottuti. Allora, quali sono le prove che Lini non fosse il tunnel quando il crimine si è verificato? Ok. Ok, quindi posso scegliere solo tra quelle tre. Quindi, persona scomparsa Alzi, pittrice, non è nota per essere coinvolta. Suono durante lo spettacolo di magia, ingressi e uscite dal teatro. Io andrei con questa.
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? I'm not thinking.
Va bene.
Are you sure we don't need to give this
Perfetto. Quant'era? 33, 33, 33? Ottimo.
That's right. Lenny wasn't in the box
Ma subito proprio.
tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best.
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Seleziona le icone a forma ingranaggio presenti sull'interfaccia per controllare le domande sul caso in questione. Seleziona le risposte e riempi tutti gli ingranaggi vuoti. Se fai qualche errore modifica le tue scelte. Una volta risposto correttamente a tutte le domande potrai completare la catena logica attuale. Stando al rapporto investigativo della Guard, i fuochi d'artificio esplosi verso la fune dello spettacolo hanno dato noto fuoco alla fune, che teneva sospesa la vasca dell'acqua. Questo l'ha fatta precipitare sulla cassa uccidendo Cowell che era all'interno. Se Lini era più sospettato, soltanto gli altri membri della troupe potevano manomettere gli oggetti di scena. Lini ha fornito resoconto dettagliato di come funziona il numero usando una cassa nella cassa. L'idea era quella di trasportare la cassa contenente il membro del pubblico attraverso un tunnel sottostante che lo stesso Lini avrebbe usato per arrivare dall'altra parte. Dopo essersi cambiata d'abito, Lynette e il suo assistente si sarebbero occupati delle interazioni con il pubblico. Gli abiti appartenenti ad Elsie, la ragazza scomparsa, sono stati trovati nel tunnel. La ragione rimane ignota. Ok.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
Chi era l'unica persona che avesse l'occasione di commettere il crimine?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He...
Proviamo così. Se fosse Conwell la terza persona?
That can't be right. Are you serious? The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased.
Oh, is that so? How interesting. Let's hear your reasoning then.
What I must do next is recreate the truth.
Ok.
What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Come possiamo ipotizzare che Lini non sia stato in grado di interferire con il crimine? Piano di Conwell la situazione all'interno del tunnel.
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So, where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So, there must have been some fear that she would attract attention. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Lenny as well.
Allora, io qua prenderei lui. Prenderei quello che dice Lini.
At that moment, which gave our
Come posso dimostrare che si è verificata una colluttazione nel tunnel? Il suono?
entered or left the opera house through the sound we heard may
Ok.
have come from a clash between
Poi, chi è il primo sospettato al momento? Lui.
the deceased's name is Cowell.
Dov'è finita Elsie?
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Lenny as well. The sound we
No.
heard may have come. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So, where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel.
Ok, no, non è quella.
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrance. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that.
Ha condotto la reazione? Manco per il cavolo, perfetto.
No one
Grazie.
entered or left the opera house through its entrance.
Perché avrei dovuto...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble?
I see how it is.
No, che fail.
Just a bluff. And here I
Look, since we're at a dead end, why, just like the trick
Ok.
isn't transpired, the end result
No,
must
che
be
fail.
different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared. Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real life.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents. But do you not see that the
C'era il vaso per terra.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The
Fino a
deceased's
qua.
name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant.
Grazie, potevi darmelo prima però senza fare tutta sta roba.
Was not broken by chance.
Sì, patato, tranquillo che tra poco ti do da mangiare. Solo che è molto presto per te per mangiare.
Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. could a person ever be transformed into water? Must we really? Ice magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about two completely different things.
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes.
Non è un'idea strampalata, è l'idea di base di quando si analizza una scena del crimine.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased, Cowell.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
Ah, che bello.
People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Sì, avete anche una leggenda su questa cosa.
Reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
No.
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl, wait just a minute, could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order!
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor.
Dai che la facciamo imbarazzare a morte la tizia lì.
Cases seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial...
Liquido che la carta ha trovato nella valigia di Cowell sembra avere la capacità di dissolvere i pianti di Fontaine trasformandoli in acqua. Chi è il primo sospettato al momento? Cowell. Che oggetto ha usato il colpevole per controllare il tempo necessario alla dissoluzione?
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to do with it? I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
Che oggetto ha usato il colpevole per controllare il tempo? La corda.
The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and cut. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank.
Perché man mano che la corda si consumava... Ok. Ok. Che oggetto ha usato il colpevole per dissolvere Halsey? L'acqua è il mare primordiale. Che oggetto ha usato il colpevole per nascondere il meccanismo dietro al crimine? La cassa? No.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic. The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and cut. As such, I remember there was something else within the...
Ok. Ho sbagliato faldone. Avevo sbagliato faldone.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In the original plan, Cowl would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial sea inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person?
Almeno te ne rendi conto.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence.
Dai.
I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this, and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
That can't be. I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience.
Oh cacchio, scusate.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent.
E su questo posso essere d'accordo. Cioè, Lini non aveva bisogno di partecipare alla distruzione della ragione perché non lo doveva fare, non gli interessava, non era il suo piano, non è il criminale.
His accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea.
No? C'è stata la colluttazione?
Upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime.
No, non si sono incrociati.
Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon.
No, lui è tornato sul palco che era già successo.
Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the core.
Allora, e questo è anche vero. Cioè, nel senso, che i Fatui siano delle pessime persone è anche vero.
Am I right, Mr. Linny?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here.
Is this the end of the road?
No. Allora.
Oh no. I can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
Non le abbiamo usate tutte. Giuro. Non mi fate prendere sti infarti.
We've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Vi odio, vi odio. Cioè, voi non mi potete far prendere sti infarti così, no? Ricopriamo il retro che devo sistemare, è tutto confuso.
Not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right
Ciao,
before their
mostrino.
very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr.
Ehi,
Lee.
finalmente ti fai vedere.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lenny and Lynette, give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf.
Orfeo tesoro, mo arrivo, è presto per la pappa.
As a magic makers and stars
Eh
of
sì,
the
è
show,
presto per la pappa.
I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
Sì, adesso lo sentirete piangere fino a che non chiudo la live, Quindi non vi preoccupate, è tutto a posto. Mangia, beve, via di cioè sta meglio di me.
And voila.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowell. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago.
Ed ecco la
and I
terza
barely got
persona.
away. Lenny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee, but then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Yes, giunta l'ora
This
di...
time, we need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective.
Allora, Lini entra nel tunnel dopo l'inizio del conto alla rovescia, dopodiché ha usato il condotto di aerazione per lasciare il posto e non ha nulla a che fare con il dissolvimento della giovane donna. Esatto. Cioè. Elsie si è dissolta. Io qui cercherei la contraddizione. Perché Conwell aveva predisposto attrezzatura per i numeri di magia in modo da poterla usare per... in modo da poterlo usare per dissolvere Elsie all'interno della cassa magica. Tuttavia, dato che Elsie è scomparsa completamente illesa di fronte a noi, le congetture di furia non stanno in piedi. Come ha reagito Elsie quando l'acqua... No. No. Durante il numero c'è stato un forte colpo che molti spettatori hanno sentito.
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Poi, scontro tra Lini e Cowell. Lini voleva avere riconoscimento e gloria tutti per sé. Tuttavia, dato che Elsie è comparsa completamente illesa, le congetture di furia non stanno in piedi, ma alcuni elementi provano che una colluttazione si è verificata davvero nel tunnel. Sì. Perché c'era il vaso di fiori. Giudicare alla distanza sembra probabile che sia stato fatto vedere dal carrello. No? No? Sì?
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between Lillian and Cowell.
Lini ha tramortito Cowell, dopodiché con lo stesso metodo utilizzato per dissolvere il giovane si è sbalazzato di lui facendo passare il tutto come un incidente. Tuttavia, dato che Elsie è comparsa... No. Dopo la colluttazione cosa ha fatto Elsie? Ok, no, su questi.
Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
Mi piace molto questo metodo, è carino. Non mi piace quando non mi fa fare le cose però o me le dà tutte sbagliate per forza.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story. Bravo! Bravo!
A me gli spettatori così mi stanno sulle palle, cioè è comunque
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak
è
against
comunque un trial, non è uno spettacolo.
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Non te la meriti.
Wow, look at that. She's like a deflated balloon now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once
Ok,
again
però
repeat
basta.
the first
Cioè,
sequence.
ok, basta, ti prego. Ti prego.
The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box, and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent. While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the oratories to make the final decision.
Spettacolo!
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dare to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes?
Ce n'è sempre uno
I'm
corrotto.
sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and...
Yes! I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
Sempre così.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of
È
them.
sempre così.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now?
Il problema sembra essersi risolto per il momento.
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Linny.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
Non sopporto che la gente venga accusata ingiustamente.
But regardless,
Sì, ti prego, perché sei carino e buono.
you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
La fantesca? No, cioè non avranno tradotto una... Vabbè.
The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
È una casa situata nel centro storico di Pettorano sul Gizio, suddivisa in 2 appartamenti. Ah, è proprio una casa la fante. No, questo è B&B, d'accordo, ma io direi che è maschera veneziana o comunque maschera del teatro italiano. Ok, maschera della commedia dell'arte. La Ragonda, donna solitamente ormai matura e per questo esperta nei fatti della vita. La fantesca era a servizio di una padrona, sempre pronta a cavarla in impaccio, a favorirne con inganni e sotterfugi le relazioni amorose, lecite o illecite che fossero. Va bene.
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past.
Sì, ti prego.
Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days.
Ma come fai a non volergli bene subito?
I gradually
Dai.
discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
Dipende se poi t'hanno fatto violenza psicologica o
Took a
fisica,
while for me to
Paimon.
realize just how dark his heart really was.
Appunto.
After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care. And I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leave, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood. And the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, I mean the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles.
E questo ha senso.
But she was also
Cuccioli.
quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
La Francesca sta cercando l'agnosi, vero?
Has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Sarita to first use the Gnosis' power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
It's all right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right.
Sì, a sto giro non sono per niente d'accordo con la Traveler.
Feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you. As plain.
Adesso mi piace ancora di più, sono ancora più contenta di averlo preso, Lini. In alto 40 metri. Dove devo andare, scusa? Ah, ok, esci dal teatro così, perfetto.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Nadia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you? Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a...
I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you.
Orfeo, guarda, 5 minuti. 5 minuti e vengo.
In Fontaine, after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new... Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners.
Vorrei dare una mano anche a Navia, non capisco perché c'è la Traveler qua, non mi sta piacendo.
Ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navia's treating, get Paimon in!
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Bourg? I believe...
All right, then. Let's have our farewell meal.
Fucina semiautomatica, vai alla bottega. Allora, direi che questa nuova fase della quest, esatto, l'atto secondo, ce lo facciamo in un'altra occasione. Guardate sempre la programmazione su Twitch o su Instagram, nobara.tv, in modo tale da vedere quando. Ma sarà molto presto, vediamo un po'. Ok, missione avventura, va bene così, tutto a posto. Ora. Va bene, e questo è per pranzare, perché mi interessa relativamente, non dovrei averne bisogno. Quindi. Direi che abbiamo 78, oggi ci possiamo tranquillamente divertire. Chissà cosa uscirà. Ci facciamo la nostra bella evocazione e poi ci vediamo la prossima volta. Quindi vai con 10 desideri tutti i botto. Perfetto, nessun 5 stelle, quindi sono più che tranquilla. Saranno tutte armi. Esatto, che tra l'altro già ce l'ho, quindi va bene. Sono tutte solo armi. Che peccato. 4 stelle così che mi mancava l'avrei preso volentieri. Quindi, armi, eccolo qui. Dai, sbloccati. E tu invece... E qui, non voglio equipaggiarlo a nessuno. Ed eccolo qua. Livello 3. Va bene ragazzuoli, con questa bella musichetta di sottofondo direi che possiamo tranquillamente rivederci la prossima volta. Vi mando un bacione, vi ringrazio di avermi fatto compagnia e vi auguro una buona serata. A presto!